Okay, things escalated a bit. So sorry for haven't really been doing much for updates. Winter has hit us. I'm wearing the toque. It's full-blown snow outside, and a little bit of my wife. She's been going into labor. You know, we're getting some trial runs in, and then sending us home, and then our septic system, the float switch on the pump failed, and that was almost back into our basement, so I had to get that all under control. And then winter tire changeover time, so changed the wife's vehicle and then mine, and anyways, but I have been working on the truck, just going hard on it. I'll show you what I've got done. So I kind of broke this thing down into sections. So I think last thing I showed, I had the roof done. So the roof's now in sealer. There was 2 big dents, and then and then a bunch of other minor stuff. So anyways, cleaned all that up. And then the next thing I did was I kind of start with the worst and not the worst, but anyways, the hood was the next big one to tackle. There was a big blister right here and just a bunch of rock chips and stuff, and then it turned into, once I start sanding, I start seeing little divots here and there, so fixed all those. The hood's now in sealer. Then I focused on the back. The back was really not that well. It actually had a lot of dents, but it's where most people are never gonna see. There's gonna be a cab guard and stuff on here, but so that was the next section. Get that half decent, so it's done. Cab corners up to the roof. Then this was all flaking in here. Someone didn't prep it very good last time, so I went in between every single one with my Scotch-Brite, brought it down to bare metal, and then primed that and cleaned up any bit of corrosion or anything. So that's all done. Then I pulled the doors off, and then I didn't like how whoever did the spray last time, back in the day, they just masked everything. So like the door handles were masked, the your vent window, all the rubbers and everything, they were painted, and so that's just leaves a spot for things to peel later. So rather than painting over that again, and then same thing down here. Once the doors are really good shape, but there was just little things had to fix up, make them nice for painting them. And then there's the other one done, and this had a little bit of damage right here, so I fixed that. Somebody had punched in the lock, so I'm gonna put the other one back in there. Just have to drill through the filler. It was easier just to put tape there and sand it all smooth, and then now I'll clean the hole out for the lock cylinder. And then I was gonna pull the fenders off, do the fenders next, and then in order to do that, I had to pull the bumper off. And that bumper was really heavy, so I'd use a skid steer to pull that off, or to lift it, to kind of hold it while I undid all the bolts. And then the fenders are the same thing. It's kind of how the doors and the hood were, where everything's just it's just flake. Things have rubbed on it. There's not really much for body damage, but I'm pretty sure, and then wherever these moldings were, it's kind of starting to flake off. So just sanded all that, blended that out. And then where the bumper was and stuff, there's a little, minor stuff, but gotta fix all that. This side's actually, same thing a little bit. Most of this no one's even gonna see, but we'll fix it all. Pull the moldings off, and then I have to show you, I got a big shout out to Terry at work, because he was asking me what color, where I was, we're always laughing because we're leaving work and we both got our tools in our hands. So he's got projects on the go, I got projects on the go. And Somebody asked me what color I was planning on doing, and I said I wasn't really sure, but I was thinking kind of like something neutral that would match kind of whatever I have on the back. And I showed him a picture of charcoal gray. Here, I'll open this for you guys. That I was thinking of doing, and he goes, oh. He goes, well, I got 3 gallons of that at home, single stage, if you want. So he brought me a whole gallon. He says there's more if I need, but I think that's probably enough to do this whole thing. Let me see, I'll open it here. Let me pause this. Okay, so this is the stuff it's Exalta. It's really, really tough. It's what we spray on all the Kenworths. I work at a Kenworth body shop. So this is the single stage stuff we spray. It's really tough. And anyways, yeah, pretty sparkly. I think it's called slate gray. Metallic, slate gray metallic. So it's pretty dark, but I think it'll look pretty good. And I'm doing it on a black sealer, so it should cover nicely. It's actually, once it's shook up a bit, there's more solids at the bottom, and that kind of lightens up a bit. But yeah, anyways, so that's about $1,000 worth of paint, thanks to Terry. And so that's what I'm gonna spray. Put that on good. Yeah, so I added some new lights. These lights are the bomb. They're basically they're a truck light, but they're a copy. They're show high beam. They don't draw hardly anything, and switch. Yeah, way brighter than factory. And yeah, so I got those there. You can get them on Amazon for, I'll say $200, something like that. But they're all dirty, but they got dust on them. But this is what they look like. There, they're crispy looking. I'll wipe that one off too. The other ones were all yellowy, so they're kind of subtle. Like they don't have big halos or nothing obnoxious, but I just like they have a kind of a blacked out look. Yeah, I got my Pontiac up there. It's got all the air. It's aired up right now, but yeah, it made it up. Just barely, but it did. It cleared. It didn't. That transition I was a little worried about in the middle, but it was good. And then when you pull it all the way up ahead, basically the whole car fits on it, including the pass, like on the back. So that looks really cool. But really, now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, because then you have this huge overhang on the back, and all this room up here. So then I was like, you almost have room. You could put a sleeper on there, or the cabinet that kind of protects the car, kind of like this. And you could sleep in it because it's 8 foot wide. So, and I'm only 5'8", so it fit pretty good. Plus, it's all that extra storage. So I might do that. There's room, anyways. It's long enough. That's not a small car. And it's still not over the back. In some ways it'd be nice, because this thing airs all the way down to the frame. It'd be nice to get so the tire was up to at least the flat part here, and then it transitions. But that's still, so say that's a foot, that still brings you about here, all that room. And really this could get rid of that, and you could move that here. But everybody's laughing because I got a small winch, but I'm not I'm not using this as a tow truck. I'm not pulling trucks out of the ditch or nothing with it, and it just needs the base. It's a 4,500 pound one I got on Amazon. Same thing, price was right, so I pulled this thing up no problem. And then it's got a sweet little winch controller here. So that's super handy when you're by yourself and you can watch everything. You either be in the car steering or back here, winching it up, watching, making sure you're clearing. Yeah, but I got an idea for cabinets on the bottom now. Princess Auto up here in Canada, it's kind of like Harbor Freight down the States. They've got a set that will fit under here. I'm going to take all these off and then basically build hangers for them to come down. They come down about 8 inches off the ground if they're butted up against here, so that'll be good. And then I think I'm still going to taper. I'm going to take this board out. It's a nice thing about this deck being so big. Take this board out and then taper it in to here. And that'll kind of get rid of that ugliness. So, and now the doors are off, I can fix nothing really to fix in here. It's just clean it up. It's kind of just same thing. It was this creamy color and then never got sanded, and then the white on top of that, and a little bit of rust bleeding, but there's no rust actually. It's just looks, yeah, it's all stained. And yeah, everything on here was really solid. Like around the cab corners are awesome. Now you see the brand new tires. Sweet. So same thing on this side, and then I'll be able to blow in up here. Clean all the way around. So yeah, that's the update.